All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. We'll be starting very, very shortly here. While you are waiting, vote on the poll. The market will do this by the end of the week. Continue its bull run, trade sideways, start a bull trend. That should say bear trend. Oh, we should just go ahead and fix it now. Continue bull run, trade sideways, start a bear trend, and the last one will be there we go. Okay, pulls up, boys and girls, and some more is here. All right, we're getting ready to do this, squad. We got about 1 minute. 1 minuto left to go. I hope you guys are ready for the show. I know I am pumped. I hope you are too. We got about a minute. Bugaboo. Let's do this. Predator's here on time as well. That is swell. Woo! Mic check. We are back for another awesome show. Welcome to the Swing Trader Strategy weekly checkup on the market, checkup on you, checkup on this guy here, yours truly. But first and foremost, we're going to go over the SPY. We're going to make sure everything looks the way it should. We have a watch list for you. And then, of course, I want you guys to always be prepared and able to do things on your own. So if I missed anything, I'll have you throw them up in the chat at the end of the show. But first and foremost, I wanted to say shout out to Dan Bob for being here. I am glad that you beat Hurricane Helene. Once again, this is the second hurricane now that we have had to watch Dan Bob take, if not a direct hit, near miss was the last one, if you want to call it that. But happy you're here with us, Dan Bob. I'm glad to see that your internet is doing fine. It's good to see Zamora in here. Beef Stewie, the beef stewiest. Predator is here on time. Jimmy Bright says, hello, everyone. Dan Bob, Dan, the greatest one ever alive. And Jolene is here. It seems like we have the OGs. And while the rest of them start to pile in, I just want to say one kind of cool thing. So we had some of the storm come in. Obviously, it's not nearly as bad as they had it in Florida. My wife's been dying to have a cat, and we had a cat show up on our doorstep, and we found out it was a girl, and we said, hey, we're going to name her Helene, right? Helene, after the hurricane. That's what led her to this house. We don't have any pets, so we've got a cat now. We went out and bought all the stuff, so and I checked on Facebook to make sure nobody's missing a cat, but it was skin and bones. So now we have the hurricane contained into some cute fluffiness with whiskers, Dan Bob. So I hope you are doing fine. I hope everybody's doing great. And I have good news. Take a look at my screen. This is the S&P 500. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I was risk off at the break of the 21, and we've been risk on since we've been above the 21-day moving average. Now, this is a beautiful thing, and why do I say that? Well, because it is always good to see new highs being formed in the S&P 500, and we've had over 40 of them just this year. And with a few months left to go in this year, let's see how high we can get. The S&P 500 still is trailing that 10-day moving average, kind of like what you see over here or over here, where it just kind of trails above. So if you're looking to get in and things seem extended to you, wait for the pullback, wait till we get back down here for a retest of this 564 or the 10-day moving average, whichever you prefer, but do wait for a pullback. Then again, these aren't buy or sell recommendations, but I have seen about 300 stocks, and out of those 300, I've seen more than I have ever seen of the trend breakout strategy. So when you're looking at the stock scanner list, which we give to you for absolutely free, it's in our Discord, we post it to you, and we show you how to upload it onto your trading view as you see right here. We do that for you so that way you can go through, so that way you can bring to the table some of the stocks. So let's go over this. The S&P 500 looking very, very good, but we always like to look at the RSP to see the equally weighted, how the overall market's doing, and it looks like it's just on this breakout here. It's looking very, very good. This is the small cap stocks. You can see we're almost forming another high, tight flag here. It's looking good. It could look better, but still above a 10-day moving average. You know, you really can't argue with that. You cannot argue with that. New higher lows being formed. Let's see the QQQs. Now, this led the rally, the last big push, and now this here, again, is extended on the 10-day moving average. So it looks like we are still seeing a lot of money being filtered into a lot of your big stocks. What do I mean by big stocks? Well, if we click on this heat map here, you can see that this here, Apple, NVIDIA, if I get my big head out of the way, you'll see Microsoft, Google, Meta, LLY, Amazon. All of these, they're really just soaking up like a sponge. They're soaking up all of the liquidity. So people want to get into these spaces, but most of that money is going to your big tech stocks, your big Apples and Metas and Googles and all that stuff. So what happens when people start liquidating some of that money? I don't know. That's when you see sector rotation. DJI, we can see that this just created all new highs once again on Friday, which is absolutely beautiful. Bitcoin, another one. You know Bitcoin's doing well when you start hearing people talk about it again. When it's going down, not a lot of people talk about it. Now people are talking about it again. That's because it's still stuck in its channel, but it's at its peak of the channel or getting close to that 68,000 peak. If we can break through this channel to the north side, that is going to look really good for the overall technical characteristic for Bitcoin. So it's nice to see that. Now, I'm not going to go through the sectors because most of the sectors are looking pretty healthy that are out there. What I do want to look at, though, is the Mag 7 stocks because that is what's moving the overall market. So let's see if we can find any weaknesses. First of all, I do want to point out that in this index, this is the 50-50 line. As long as we're above the 50, that shows that the overall percentage of stocks are above their 50-day moving average. So 64% of stocks are above their 50-day moving average. Of course, the VIX Volatility Index had a nice little pop here, but as long as it can stay down and sucked below that $20 area, that's going to be a good sign for our risk management. We don't want to get swiped out of anything crazy with the VIX Volatility Index still lingering in this area. Anything can happen. The Middle East tensions, the war with Ukraine, the uneasy, we could go on and on about the negative things, the things that we don't need to think about because it's not going to change overall my biasy in the long run when it comes to taking my swing trades on the weekly or the monthly time frame, okay? So we talked about the SPY. We talked about, this is the NASDAQ. It's going to look quite similar. QQQs. The SPY is the leader right now. Okay, the SPY is the leader as well as Dow Jones Industrial, but we like to use the SPY because the Dow Jones is just really big stocks. It's a big boat. Okay, now let's take a look at the Mag 7 as we drew this pennant out for you a while back. You can see it's just coming right back into that area of resistance, and now it's falling back down. I think this pennant here has another 2 or 3 weeks maybe until we have a better understanding of what Tesla wants to do here. It still has a RS rating of 98, and after this big push, this right here is very, very good for the overall stock. It trades sideways, and it lets people get in and out and exchange hands to position themselves where they want to. And as long as we're making new higher lows and new lower highs, once we get to a very, very tight area, that's going to give us a good risk. Meaning here, if I got in here on a breakout, I might want to risk all the way down here, right? But if we wait until this gets super tight, I can risk the previous day knowing that if it does not go and it does not head higher, then it will break down and it will stop me out for a small loss, okay? Next up is Google. So Google hasn't been looking nearly as good as the rest of the stocks. We're still just getting above a 50-day moving average. That has just now recently proved itself. But on the other hand, Meta is one of the leaders. I've been telling you guys about Meta, how it's been acting like a leader since the market had pulled back. Meta was still pushing higher. I remember here making new all-time highs, and it happened in the pre-market. I was not able to really grab a hold of this, and then I took some fear of missing out trades up here and held on to it and made some money. But knowing what I was doing, knowing that I was just hoping and holding and I was not using my strategy, I exited out for a small win, but it doesn't feel like a win, obviously, because I wasn't playing to my strategy. I was playing off of, like a 10-day moving average. When the swipe down here, I bought back in. Now, there was some strategy involved, but it wasn't my strategy. I didn't get into the trend breakout or the base breakout. I haven't got in at a trend or a base breakout, so I exited the trade. Next up is Apple. So Apple's holding off very well up here. It's creating this flag or this pennant formation. I can just draw this here for you right now. We just pull this off like this so you have a better understanding of how it looks. And you could do something like this. So this is the pennant forming, or you could even come back to here and do something more like that, whichever you prefer. But regardless, when we look at Apple, I think a couple more weeks. So some sideways action is now looking what would be the best. And Tesla, good old Uncle Tesla, since he has been building new higher lows off these bases, has been doing some great things in this area. This price action shows really, really good. And if we look back here on the weekly, you can see it's very clear. We had this breakout of this beautiful, beautiful trend. We had a breakout. It retested. It came down lower than I like to see a retest, but it nonetheless is retesting its breakout area and is breaking up higher. Now, the volume isn't really telling me too much, but what I can say is that I like this huge base, and this right here might be the next stage. We might be on a new stage 1. This might be a beautiful new stage for Tesla. Let's see if it can have some continuation, as Amazon is just still flirting with these all-time highs. Now, guys, I'm on weekly right now. Look at this. Multiple times this has touched this area. This might act as support now. If Amazon finds support in this area, that could be a very, very good sign for Amazon. This thing could head much higher in this area, but we'll have to see what the overall market wants to do, as Microsoft is just trading sideways as well, still above a 21-day moving average, so holding off very well. I tell you what, this ChatGPT stuff with Microsoft, I absolutely love it. I've been messing with it today. We're trying to get like a grocery list, right? A grocery list. And I say, curate me with the staple food being chicken and eggs, 7 meals that I can cook, and then write me a grocery shopping list for those meals. And then it's for 2 people, and then it just punches it all out. And so now when we go to the store, sure, we're getting all this meat and all this food, but we already had AI completely generate 7 different healthy meals for us, told us exactly what to get, and it literally took me 5 minutes kind of to have AI curate this for me. So I love what Microsoft's doing. I like how that you know, they kind of got this ChatGPT kicked off in the right direction, and, you know, they're huge advocates of it, and they're really, really like funding this thing. So hand in hand, I think Microsoft with OpenAI, I think this is definitely one to keep an eye on, but still, Meta is your leader here. Meta and NVDA, I think, is still really a leader here. It's still shaping up to continue to prove itself to us, but Meta 100% is a true leader in this market. This thing is very, very strong right now. So I like this. I hope you do too. Now we're going to get into the delicious, scrumptious, juicy parts in here just a second. But one thing I do want to take a little peeky gander at before that is to understand where we are at with the economic calendar. So just before we go over the economic calendar, if you guys will do me a huge favor, take a look at my screen. This right here is me. Again, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and then of course, we have 8 of you that have voted on this. I'll vote too. But I want you to give me a vote. Let me know what you think. What will the market do? And if you are finding this valuable at all in any type of way, whether it is for comedy reasons, if this is comical to you, if you're learning something new, smash that subscribe button. We absolutely love growing. And then of course, we have a Facebook. We have it all. Go ahead, click this link tree right here, folks, right here. When you click that link tree, you can find our YouTube. We have a free swing trading school, which, by the way, guys, this is kind of cool. This won't be free forever. So like if you click on this and you go to this YouTube thing and you scroll down, this trading school that has all this timeless, you know, material that we've put in hours and hours and hours. There's probably like at least 8 or 9 hours of trading school inside of this. This isn't going to be free forever. I have decided that I'm going to leave this open, and the OGs, everybody that's in here right now, I mean, you guys will always get it for free. You'll always get it forever. But I think we're going to actually start like confining this and then only releasing it to people that we think actually want to learn. You know what I mean? So this isn't happening now, but right now, just do it while it's free, guys. Do it while it's free. Click the link tree, go to the YouTube, watch everything on that. Watch everything that you possibly can in the swing trading school. It's everything that I've learned mashed into one grouping. And then, of course, come to our Facebook. We have a lot going on in Facebook. I absolutely love this Facebook swing trading school. Strategies. He's got everything. He's got me on here. Hello, yours truly. And then he always posts, you know, where the money flowed, you know, different ideologies on different traders. Brian posted the earnings, the most anticipated earnings of this week here. We got memes. Come on, guys. Look at this. Whisker Buffets. You got to love Whisker Buffets. So make sure you join up, guys. All right. Now that I did like a full minute segment on myself, now it's time for your watch list. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can find it. All right. So I got quite a few on here. We're going to kind of run through these just so we can understand what I'm looking for here. We have SOL. Let me put this, make sure it's on the daily. What am I looking at? Oh, this is not the same SOL. Nope, not the same one. That's weird. Let me throw this up on here, guys. All right, take a look. Take a little peeky gander. This is SOL. This is what I'm looking at here, okay? See this base, this basing top? This basing top is getting really, really tight. And I'll just blow this up on the daily so you guys can understand it a little bit better. Okay, we get a big push up on this volume and it pulls back and it's bouncing off this 10-day. You can clearly see that it's respecting its 10-day moving average, right? And now it's getting right up into this $2.44 area or $2.50, you know, that area. But once it breaks this 241, 243 area on a lot of volume, kind of like you're seeing come in right here, if you see that break out on a lot of volume, I think this has some potential to go. I really do. I think it's got some potential to go. How high? I'm not really sure. But this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. We also have RAIL. Let me see if I can bring this up on here now. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so this is rail. You can see if it holds this 10-day moving average, I'm still interested. If it breaks down and wants to hold the 20, we'll see how it acts there. But as of right now, I'm just watching this price action right here to try and form a flag. And this has already created a new higher low in these last 2 days. You see here. That's why I like that. So we got this, and then we have 3 new higher lows right here. 1, 2, and 3. So if it gets tight within the next couple of days and breaks out, I think that might be a good overall look. Let's take a look at SKE. Now, we had SKE on our last watch list. If you guys don't remember, we had SKE on the last watch list, and it broke out. It did. It did nice. I'm sorry, it didn't do nice, but we had it on our last watch list. It broke down. It came right back up. Well, now it's trying to hold that 10-day once again. Maybe even another dip and a breakout. But it's kind of funny because let me bring this up on this. This is why I like using 2 different trading platforms, because if it's a 5-star setup, you'll like it on both ends, right? You will. Undercut and rally right here. Do we do the same thing? Undercut and then start to rally. Just something to keep an eye on, guys. Just something to keep an eye on. PLCE. Erica, you're so late. What are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Norman Conklin, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Oh, man. Let's see. Who else we got? Dan Bob says, follow us on all the platforms. Thank you. Yeah, ChatGPT really is. It's something else. Even if it's just an algorithm that just mashes the most next reliable word up, it's still amazing, it's still amazing. It really is. We have PLCE here. You guys can see why I like it. Big volume up here on earnings. It's pulling back. It's starting to get tight, and I'm seeing the 10-day moving average catch up to it. We have MPW. This, you can see why I like it. Just right off the get. It's just a beautiful flag right here. We could just draw this down like this. It's really, really tight on this day. So I would say like tomorrow, tomorrow we set an alert right here on the hot break of the high of the day. And if it does it on higher than average volume, then we've seen in the past week trade on a 5-minute trade bar. Oh, excuse me, war cry. Then we're going to take it. So that's what I'm looking for. This is a William O'Neill's cup and handle. It's not as pretty as you want to see any kind of cup and handle, but it's being considered a cup with a handle. So take it or leave it. I like MPW. Now you guys seen me play this IONQ. IONQ, so this is what it looks like on the daily. You have to understand this is like an hourly type setup. Okay, guys. So, I don't really like you guys, getting into these and playing these faster movers. Granted, this only moves 6.54%, but that's still very, very fast. So when you're looking at a stock like IONQ, you got to understand that it does move very, very fast. And I don't know if you guys were aware of it. I called this ticker out. Actually, Danny brought it to my attention. And I ended up calling this out saying, hey, this is my 5-minute trend break strategy. And I took the play. Now, let me just show you. Oh, that looks yucky. Let me just do this and put it on the 5-minute for you. So I'll show you my 5-minute trend break strategy that I played. And it implemented very, very well on this chart. So here's your 5-minute strategy right here. We'll zoom in on it so you can understand it a little better. So we get a big push up on volume, and this is in pre-market, okay? And we get this 3 new higher lows, 3 new higher lows. So here's one higher low, or here's one high. Here's one higher low, but we're going to call it 2 because that's how I count it. 1, 2, and then 3. So anything that breaks out above this trend line now, I can take as long as there's 3 new higher lows. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 new higher lows, 5 new higher lows, 6 new higher lows. It's starting to get really, really tight. So when it broke out from this area, I got in and I took about 1,000 shares risking this low right here. So I was risking about $150, I think. And this thing came down. So this was my risk right here. I'll just point this out to you. This was my risk. This is where I got in, and then I went to work, okay? I'll just change this to green so you guys can see it a little better. And IONQ takes off. I'm not even worried about it at this point because, you know, this is my strategy. It's working out, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to worry about this trade. I set my stop loss where the newest higher low was, and look at the stock came right down right in the morning open. It comes down, stops me out, and then it's off to the races. Rip, rip, tater chip, baby. IONQ took absolutely off out of here. Sure, I could have made a lot of money. I could be up quite a few coins right now. But hey, this is part of trading. I'm very happy with this trade because I stuck with my strategy. I overall was right on the bias that needed to go up higher, but I needed to learn from this and understand that, you know, maybe, you know, it's kind of hard when you're playing these faster movers and you're at work. So when I played this, I knew I had more inherent risk because I had to set a hard stop as to where I could have seen how it was going to, like, if this was a quick, fast wick and it wicked right back up, then you can set your stop to the bottom of this wick because a lot of times that'll do that in the market opens. You know, they do these big, quick wicks and then you just kind of sit there for a second and then set your low to the bottom of that wick as long as you have, like, accounted for it. Me, personally, 3 cents, yes, that would have been fine. I would have been okay with taking that since my risk was only half of my actual full risk anyway. But regardless, I do want to point this out to you guys. Why am I talking about that? It's on the watch list. It broke out here, and look, it's setting up again. 1, 2, 3 new higher lows. Now you have 4, 1, 2, 3, I'm sorry, 2 new higher lows, new lower highs, new higher lows, and then boom, it's getting really, really tight right here. And if it breaks out of this 975 area, I think it's another one that you definitely want to keep on your watch list. That one guy says, I believe the SPY will drop tomorrow. Well, if we do look at the SPY very specifically on the overall market, let's take a look at the daily, and we can kind of get a justified idea. So if we look at the overall market, if we're holding this 10-day moving average, I think, and this is just a guess, I think if we continue this trend and we stay above previous day's low, I think we'll go higher in the morning, but then pan out, just like we have been. But whether we're going to go higher or lower, I don't know. All I do know is we're above a 21-day moving average, so I am still risk on. IGMS, this is another one, guys, that I really like. Look at this. Big push up higher, a pullback. It's starting to create a base breakout area. Also, if we look back here, you can see it's hit this area one other time. Big cup. Now it's formed a handle. Let's see if this thing can take off from this area. And I got a few more that I'm going to throw up for you guys as in the tickers for my watch list. This would be the time for you to not only hit the like and subscribe button, but put in the chat the stocks that you are watching so that way we can go over them right meow. We have PCVX. I like PCVX. I like the big pop-up. I like this trading sideways. It looks like a big drip here, like we're about to just drop down here. That's what it's looking at me. So when I see this, I see a double whammy. We break out above this. And then if we break above this, things are going to look a lot better. But if we break down from this area, I think it's going to head down. It might even fill this gap here. So be very careful looking at some of these. CVNA caught my attention just because this thing is a piece of dog turd nuggets, right? This thing filed for bankruptcy here, and now look where it's at, you know? It's like 1,000%. And I'm just like, man, this thing's got to fail at some point, right? But it just keeps on heading higher. AVAV. Now, I know B. Stewie is going to love this one. AVAV looks like it's setting up a little bit here. This thing has been on an absolute tear. And so if you're looking to get into this space, this is definitely one to keep on your watch list. I'm not saying this is one that you need to take. I'm saying this is definitely one to keep on your watch list because AVAV has been doing phenomenal things, and now it's forming a nice tight flag up here. A couple more days would make it even better, but we'll see what happens. Another one is Till. So I've been watching Till for a while now. After this huge push up, it's pulled back and it's formed this beautiful basing at this top, holding a 10-day moving average. I'm really trying to patiently wait for Till. But remember, guys, this thing moves 24.5% on an average daily move, meaning this thing will rip your damn face off. So understand risk management before you take anything like Till. But yes, this is a bio stock. It already has inherent risk, and it's doing big, big things. All right, let me grab a little shawana. Right, now, if you guys weren't with me last week or the beginning of this week, we talked about how China is risk on because of their rate cuts. They had like an emergency 50 basis rate cut or something. I don't even really know. Actually, it wasn't a rate cut. They actually they're boosting their economy by printing money. Remember what the last time happened to our economy when they started printing money? We started spending a lot more and things went ba-boom. Well, you can see here, this is where the money printer turned on and PDD went straight to the north side. We wanted you to keep a closer eye on BABA, which had more new forming higher lows and what looks to be a stage 1, stage 2. Okay, a stage 2 starting to form. All right, let's see. That one guy, are you playing PEP for earnings? Are you talking like PEP coin, are you talking PepsiCo? Earnings is on the 8th, so I'm assuming you're talking PepsiCo on October 8th. Yeah, okay. So the question is, am I playing PEP for earnings? No. The reason why is it only moves 1.6%, so it's not a very fast mover. And also, I'm not into these like sideways action kind of stocks. Like you could make money doing this. Like just, in hindsight, I'm looking at this and every time it comes down, you could get in. And once it gets back up to its all-time high, you exit out of it. You wait for it to come back down, buy it up again. Like there's some strategies in here, but to play their earnings, no. I find that to be a gamble. So I won't be playing PepsiCo's earnings, or I won't play any earnings actually. I'll wait till after the earnings to see if they're where they're doing, or if I can play an episodic pivot on it, or if there's an earnings continuation. There's many ways to play earnings, but never before for me. But we were talking to you guys about BABA. We talked about BABA looking like a good one. This is actually pointed out by Danny, and then I just kind of charted this, did some analysis, and started looking at these new higher lows, and the volume started to come in, and it just really ripped up, and that's just such a beautiful thing to see. And then I got a few more, and then we'll go over what you guys are talking about in the chat when it comes to any tickers you might have. Okay, so VRNA, that was on there. Let me see. You guys will like this one. So PLTR. So I'm still holding PLTR. I got about 500 shares of this bad baby. If it breaks below the 10-day moving average and breaks below this area of support, I will exit this trade. If I'm there in front of my phone or computer, I will watch this area. Okay? If this area continues to break down, I might want to short it. But in the meantime, I'm holding 500 shares of this, and I want to see where it wants to go. Currently, big push up on volume and a pullback on lighter volume, and it's getting very tight on a 10-day moving average. I like PLTR. I like this move. I like this trend. And if it can continue on, I want to be a part of it. Okay, so definitely put PLTR on your watch list, guys. I really think it has some potential, but at the same time, this is what? It's third leg. 1, 2, 3, third leg. Could get iffy. So just keep that in mind. I have a bias, obviously, because I hold shares in it. Okay. And let me just quickly, so APP, do keep this on your watch list. I've been telling you PLTR, Meta, and APP I have found to be leaders in this market, and APP has not proven me nothing but right on this one. This thing is doing really, really well. If you could find an area of a trend or a base breakout on APP, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, watching its movement, because I really like the way this thing is moving. This is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's go over the stock tickers. We got ADMA, B Stewie. I do remember this one, and I have this one. I have this one on my watch list as well. Maybe, yeah, I do have it on my watch list as well. I have so much on my watch list. I didn't want to bring all of them up, but I'm really happy that you brought up ADMA, because look at this. I mean, a big push up on volume and a pullback on lighter volume, and it's getting tight. I have my alert set at that 1960 break. If we see volume on the 5-minute, then we're going to take it. So I like ADMA. Let's see. B Stewie says, please smash that like button, baby. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Then we have BVS. So BVS, okay. Yeah, I see why you like this, Beef Stewie. I feel like I've seen this too. But yeah, this is a nice tight area right here. But it had less of like fake breakout and it pulled back. So that'll make people nervous, you know, clear a high a day out and then pull back, but it didn't break down any lower. So that's a good sign. But yeah, that could turn around. I don't know nothing about it, but it is a bio stock. All right, let's take a look at CHWY, Chewy. Yeah, so Chewy, this is that Hello Kitty guy who, you know, this here is when he started tweeting. Hello Kitty started tweeting about, you know, various meme stocks, and Chewy being one of them, that he took a large account on Chewy and yada, 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 or a large options trade on Chewy. Got really exciting now, building new higher lows. So this is a good sign, you know, for Chewy overall, because it's actually popped back up. The 200-day moving average is starting to curl to the north side. So Chewy's starting to build new higher lows. It's not really following any justifiable like trend line to say, oh, you know, let it ride this or let it ride that. But it's looking good. You know, it's looking good. I like where it's at. But it doesn't have a play for me. LUMN, Beef Stewie brought up. I'm sorry, Dan Bob brought up. So I like this one. This one's just, for me, it's a really hard play. You know, are we playing a base breakout now? Did we miss the cup and handle? Is this the cup and handle? There's no denying, you know, that like there's definitely something going on here, but I don't like it. I don't like it. It's just choppy here. But it could do something. That, you know, that's why I don't want to like break this thing down, is, you know, it's a piece of shit. You know, don't look at these stocks, but this, I mean, it looks good, but I just don't see a play in it, you know. So LUMN, I won't have on my watch list, but I understand. I get it. ASPN, yeah. So this one too, it's just kind of like chopping around. We're like, if we look at something like, if we just looked at this, you know, just like this, right there, like it pops up, it trades sideways, it fake breaks out, and then it just keeps chopping around. Or if we looked at just this, where we get a big pop up, it's starting to pull aside, but then when it starts like dunking back down and then popping back up and dunking back down, it makes it hard, because, you know, there's bag holders up here now. But I see why you like it. I see why you're looking at it. But it's not really riding any moving averages. Not good price action. I don't like it. So ASPN, not on my belt. BASE, Dan Bob, BASE, no. No, that's not what you meant to put, or you're messing with me. We already looked at Amazon, but we can just go over it really quick again, Jody. I'm happy to do that for you. So if we look at Amazon, I broke Amazon down very, very simply, right? Let's just look at it over on this chart really quick. AMZN. If you look at this yellow line that's right here, this yellow line here represents like the area that we have that is the most resistance or support. So it came up and hit this area once, twice, and now over here 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6, 7 different times. We are sitting right at that area right now on Amazon, okay? So if AMZN is sitting on that area and we start to see a bounce and it starts to curl, it's being supported, and that would be a great area for a risk to reward. But if it breaks down this area, there's no really telling where the support's going to be. We have some support at 171. We have some support at 152, but where it's going to land, it makes it a little bit harder. But if it starts to curl right here in this 180 area, that might be a really good sign for it to continue to trend to the north side. So I like AMZN. It's a slower mover, but there's ways to play it in faster movers. What up, NASCAR? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Predator says, in a weird twist, both LUNR, LUNRW. Yeah, so LUNR, the W is just the warrants that they have out for their stocks. Yeah, Lunar's looking good. I have been looking at Lunar. Big pop up here, pullback, kind of traded sideways, popping back up. I would need a little bit more time on Lunar just to kind of do something like this. So get tight on the 10-day moving average. So, and then the LURW is going to trade, it should trade pretty similar. NASCAR asks, are you familiar with Moonmart? He's pushing RELI hard this weekend. So let's look at RELI. So look at RELI. It's below a 200-day moving average, a declining 200-day moving average. If we zoom all the way out here on the daily, you can see the stock has only went down. The only time they've probably went up is like reverse stock splits. So I got to say, like, if somebody's pumping this, there's a reason why. And the biggest reason usually is if we look into the more financials, we'll find out right here that this only has 1.15 million free float shares to trade. Okay? So it's only got 1.15 million shares for its free float. So what does that tell you? Well, let's look at the market cap. The market cap is 2.71 million. Okay? 2.7, it's a very small stock, meaning anybody with $100,000 can push this stock around, okay? If you have more than 100,000, which usually the market makers do, they're going to push the stock around a lot easier. So when you look at RELI, like that one guy's trying to pump, what it is he's probably got a position in RELI, and then he will say, hey, I'm in RELI, it's going to go to the moon. A bunch of other people buy, it goes up a little bit, and he's going to sell off into them. So I'd be really careful with NASCAR listening to other people that are telling you to get into stocks that never have ever seen a run to the north side, okay? So like the complete life cycle of this stock has only been pop up and then fail, pop up, fail, pop up, fail. And I don't mean to talk bad about anybody's stock picks or anything or whatever you believe. I'm just trying to educate you so you understand that this is not a good stock. Like if you bought this stock and then forgot about it, you're probably going to lose the money that you had in it. But if you bought any one of these stocks like the Mag 7 and you came back in 5 or 10 years, you probably are going to earn some money. Okay, so when you look at RELI, you got to understand this is just a shit stock. We don't want to look at these. We want to look at something that's relatively strong compared to the market. So if the market comes down tomorrow, this stock's coming down too. Where if you look at like a Meta, which the relative strength is above 90, see that? If the market comes down, it's not necessarily that Meta has to. So I just don't like RELI, and that's my thoughts on it. Last time he featured a stock over the weekend was DRMA on 9/16. It quickly squeezed 150, and you know what? And that's probably what he's doing. He's getting these squeezes to actually happen. So, you know, if you want to try and play it with him and make some money that way, you can try, but I can tell you, sir, that it does not end nearly as good as most people want it to. And we'll come back to you, NASCAR, in 1 second. We have Swim, which, if you guys remember, Covey called this out as an episodic pivot. Wasn't able to hold on to it. This thing is still holding that 21-day moving average. It's formed like this base at the top right here. I'll just set an alert because they're free. And we'll set that alert right there at close to that $7 area. If it breaks out of this area on higher volume, this might be a really good stock to consider taking if we can find proper risk reward. But yeah, I like Swim. I like their last earnings. Their last earnings here, a surprise estimate on earnings of 360%, guys. That's a huge thing. So they blew earnings out of the water. They're relatively strong compared to the overall market, and its average daily range is at 5.43%. NASCAR said, yeah, DRMA. So let's just look it up, just so we all understand what he's talking about. So DRMA on 9/16 was similar. It only has 1.2 million shares outstanding. It was on the heels of TNON2, which ran from 4 to 130 the Friday prior. We didn't have a huge move last week. Yeah. No, I get it. There's a lot, and I'm not going to say names of YouTubers that are doing this, but I'm telling you guys, it's a big reason why I started this show up. A big reason, because there's two types of YouTubers out there when it came to finance, okay? There was the YouTuber that was, I'm a guru. This is how I trade. I make millions of dollars in an hour. You can be like me. Look at my fancy cars and my fancy clothes, okay? There were those YouTubers. And then there were the other YouTubers that would, that were not grateful enough to have their own show. Okay, they were not happy to be there. You could tell they've lost their passion for it. You could tell that they were more worried about the people that were trying to bash them rather than trying to bring up the people in the community that loved and revered him. And I said, you know what? I think I can do this better. I think that I can, for one, protect people, show them that there's a lot of scam artists out there, and you should only follow a guy who is literally telling you, I don't want your money. I can make my own money. You know, and who tries to teach you a process that tells you right away, it might not be right for you, but it's right for me and a lot of these people that are in the community. So when it comes to these guys, we need to be really, really careful out there, because they're going to try and drag you in and say, hey, buy this stock because I own 10,000 shares of it. And if you buy it and all my followers buy it, then I can sell it for 8 pennies higher than I paid for it and make $2,000-$3,000 off it today by sending out tweets and Facebooks and going on my YouTube and saying to buy this one stock. It's not right. It's not right. People are making a ton of money off of people doing this shit. And I'm for one, I'm sick of it. So that's why I've been giving a free resource. Everything that I have said has been implemented before. I am not reinventing the wheel. Everything that I give you is absolutely free, guys. And if you can stand behind that, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We do live trading, live commentary. We do the whole thing. And we also try to protect our community from all the scams that are out there. Well, guys, I think that about wraps it up. For those of you that did not get my watch list, or you have more that you want to add, please do so in our general chat in our Discord. Our Discord is absolutely awesome. We have two requirements, actually. If you want to join our Discord, it's absolutely free, so you don't need any money. But you need to have an open mind, and you need to have a heart of gold. Remember, we had 12 votes so far on the poll. The market will do this by the end of the week, and 41% of you said that it would continue on its bull run. 25% of you said, I don't know, I'm just here for the show. And 16% of you said it would trade sideways. Another 16 said another bear trend is going to start soon. You guys need to be very, very careful out there with this economic calendar. Papa Powell is going to be talking right around 3 o'clock at 2:55. He's going to strut his stuff out there and start speaking. So please be careful with that. If he says the right or the wrong thing, the market could change directions. And of course, we have non-farm employment. We have JOLTS job openings. We have initial jobless claims. We have non-farm payrolls. It's all coming out. It's all coming out this week. So make sure that you stay very alert and attentive. Have your stops set in and ready to go. And of course, one last thing, guys, before I say my adieus. The target rate probability already for November 7th, 2024 is 55% for another 50 basis points, which is absolutely crazy to think that we went from 50-50 and we're already at 55%, thinking that there's going to be another half a cut. That's huge. That's absolutely huge for the overall market. That's absolutely huge to see that being worked. But Is this alarm bells? Is this something a little bit more to be worried about? Regardless, I like to keep my head on straight by looking at the S&P 500, knowing that we are above a 21-day moving average, and I'm looking for the relatively strong stocks in this market that move faster on an average daily range than 4%. It's that simple, people, and I hope that you absolutely can keep it simple too. My name is Dave Worrell, baby. It's good having you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hit that like and subscribe. And of course, I will see you out. If you have made a comment today in our chat, I will be saying goodbye to you personally after the outro. Thank you guys so much for being here. Peace. All right. Norman Conklin, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Jimmy Bright, good night. Good night. Good to knock. Good to knock, El Fitazane. Good evening. That one guy, you must be at a different time zone. It's good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. That one guy, I appreciate you. B. Stewie, my man. My day one. Boy. Thank you so much for being here. I see all the love getting thrown in the chat. I see it. I'm sending it right back. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Norman Conklin, you have a good one. NASCAR all out. I'm glad we could talk, and I hope I got to share a little information. I hope you didn't think I was being too rude or too straightforward, but that's what I have to be. There's a lot of bullshit out there, and I'm just trying to cut right through it. So it was good seeing you. Jolene, sweet Jolene, we love having you in the Discord too. Honestly, it's so nice to have we're all from different ends of this earth, and we are all different vibes, and we all come together and make awesome music. So it's good to see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Erica K, why are you so late? Why were you so late, Erica? I'm only kidding. I'm glad that you came. Slam the door harder when you come in so you can make your known more presence. We love you, Erica. Thank you so much for being here. And who else did I don't want to miss? Oh, Zamora. It's good to see you, Zamora. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys have an awesome start to your week on Monday. Remember, I don't care what anybody says. If you act like Monday is the best day to be alive, you can follow through with that same feeling. So I hope you guys have an awesome Monday. I hope to see you guys very, very soon. We'll see you on Tuesday. Take care, guys. Peace.